The space station was alive with movement. Ships from dozens of worlds docked in its shining bays, and aliens of every shape and color hurried along the corridors. Each species had its own way of moving, speaking, and thinking. But despite all, the life and energy, there was a quiet tension in one corner of the station. A new arrival had just entered. She was tall and graceful, with skin that shimmered slightly under the station lights. Her eyes were large, reflective and calm, as if they could see everything at once. Yet it was not her appearance that made the other aliens uneasy. It was her scent. The moment she stepped into the main corridor, whispers spread. Her scent was strong, different, and confusing. Most aliens sniffed the air and stepped back, holding their noses or shaking their heads. No one wanted to come near her. Some even moved quickly to avoid her path. She walked alone, unbothered, though her eyes flicked around, noticing the stares and the subtle signs of fear. Farther down the corridor, a human named Cena noticed her. Cena was not like most humans. He had grown up traveling in different star systems, meeting countless alien species. He had seen dangerous worlds, survived harsh conditions, and learned to notice details others often missed. When he smelled her scent, he did not flinch. Instead, he felt calm. He thought the scent was strangely beautiful, almost like a melody he could not forget. Cena studied her for a moment. He saw her hesitation, the way she moved carefully to avoid attention, and he felt a strange pull to approach her. "Why do they all avoid you?" he asked quietly, stepping closer. The alien woman's eyes widened. She had not expected anyone to speak to her, much less with kindness. Most reactions had been fear or disgust. I am used to this," she said softly, her voice musical but cautious. "Others, they cannot stand it. My scent." Cena shook his head. "I don't understand. I think it is beautiful." The alien woman froze. No one had ever said that. Not one being had ever found her scent pleasant. She studied him, suspicion in her gaze. "Beautiful?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "Yes," Cena said, smiling. "It is calm, strong, honest. It feels like you." For the first time, she felt a warmth that had nothing to do with her surroundings. It was strange and unexpected. She had traveled for many light years, avoided contact with others to keep her distance, and always been alone in stations like this. Yet this human, he did not flinch. He did not fear her. He did not treat her like a problem to be ignored. The corridor remained crowded, but Cena moved closer to her side. "Do you need help?" he asked. "Your ship, I can see it is damaged." She looked at him in surprise. No one had offered help before. They only avoided her. Her species prized independence, but isolation was not what she truly wanted. Yes, it is damaged," she said, her voice still cautious. "But I can manage." Cena smiled again, gentle but determined. "You don't have to manage alone. I can help. It will be easy if we work together." The alien woman considered him. Something about his tone, his calm confidence, made her trust him more than she expected. Finally, she nodded. "Very well. I will accept your help." Nearby, other aliens watched. Murmurs began. "That human. He dares? Why would he approach her? She is dangerous." But Cena ignored them. He had never cared for whispers. He only cared about helping someone who needed it. They walked together toward her docking bay. Cena noticed her ship was smaller than most starcrafts he had seen, sleek but clearly in need of repair. The engines were scorched, and panels were loose. She moved with grace, but even she could not hide the worry in her movements. "Your ship is badly damaged," Cena said, studying the exterior. "It will take some work, but nothing I cannot handle." The alien woman tilted her head, her eyes watching him. "You do not fear me?" Cena shook his head. "Fear is for things that are dangerous. You are just different. I like that. I like learning new things, and right now, I want to help you." Her eyes softened. For the first time in many years, she felt that someone truly saw her, not just her scent, not just her differences, but her as a being. "You are different from others," she said quietly. "I try to be," Cena replied with a small laugh. "Humans are complicated, but I can be simple when needed. Right now, helping you is simple." They began examining her ship together. Cena pointed out areas that needed repair, and she listened carefully, offering insight into her own technology. Despite the difference in species and language patterns, they communicated smoothly, finding understanding in actions and gestures, as much as words. Around them, station life continued. Some aliens edged closer, curious despite their fear. Some stayed far away, watching from a distance. But Cena and the alien woman did not notice. They were focused, working together for the first time. Finally, as they finished inspecting the ship, Cena said, "It will take time, but we can do it. You will be able to leave this station safely." The alien woman nodded, her eyes reflecting gratitude and something deeper: hope. For the first time in many cycles, she did not feel alone. Cena looked at her again, smiling. "And about your scent. Don't worry about others. Some may fear it, but I think it is beautiful." Her lips curved slightly in the closest thing to a smile she had shown in years. She had been avoided, feared, and ignored her whole life on stations like this, but this human, he saw her differently. He saw her, and somehow that made all the difference. As they prepared to begin repairs, the station seemed a little brighter. A human and an alien, different yet connected, working side by side. And perhaps, just perhaps, a small change had begun in the way the galaxy would see her and humans forever. The alien woman's ship was small, but it had potential. Cena examined it carefully, tracing the lines of the hull and the damaged panels. Sparks from broken circuits and scorched metal told a story of a recent struggle. She had been attacked or forced to land in a hurry. Cena frowned. "Your engines are heavily damaged," he said, pointing to a cracked panel near the power core. "It will take a few hours to repair them, but it is doable." She watched him silently, curious about his confidence. "Most would have refused," she said, softly. "Most would have avoided me." Cena looked at her, his dark eyes steady. "Because they are afraid," he said simply. "Fear is easy. Understanding is harder. I choose to understand." Her eyes widened slightly. No one had ever said anything like that to her. Most only whispered, "Stay away," or "dangerous." Cena's words carried no judgment, no fear, only calm certainty. She nodded, finally speaking her name. "I am Leora," she said. Cena smiled. "I am Cena. Nice to meet you, Leora." A small silence settled over them. In that silence, she noticed something about him. He did not flinch at her scent. He did not step back. Instead, he seemed drawn to it, curious rather than disgusted. To her, it was almost shocking. You do not mind my scent?" she asked, tilting her head. Cena shook his head. "I think it is beautiful, strong, honest. It tells me who you are." Her lips curved slightly in what could almost be called a smile. "You are very different from others," she said quietly. "Humans are different," Cena replied with a shrug. "Some fear what they do not understand. Some admire it. I admire you." The words made her pause. No one had ever admired her, not for her scent, not for her presence, not for herself. She had learned to accept loneliness as her companion. Yet now, standing next to this human, she felt a strange warmth in her chest, a feeling she could not name. Cena began opening panels and checking circuits, explaining each step to her. "This one is fried," he said, pointing to a glowing wire. "We will replace it with this one." Leora leaned closer, fascinated. She had traveled across galaxies, seen countless technologies, but she had rarely seen repair work done so simply and efficiently. Cena moved with precision and confidence, but he explained everything he did, sharing his knowledge without arrogance. "You humans are clever," she said after a while. Cena chuckled. "We try. We are persistent. Sometimes, too much, some would say, but it helps in situations like this." As they worked, other aliens in the station began to notice. Murmurs spread. "Why is that human helping her? Does he not smell it? Is he foolish?" But Cena ignored them. He had never cared about whispers or judgment. His focus was entirely on the task at hand and on Leora. Hours passed and the repair began to take shape. Panels were replaced, circuits connected, and the engine's glow returned to a steady hum. Leora's ship no longer looked helpless. She glanced at Cena, a feeling of gratitude and something deeper in her eyes. "You have done more than I expected," she said softly. "Most would have walked away." Cena shrugged again, smiling. "I do not see why I should walk away. You are not dangerous. You are interesting. And right now, I want to help." Her eyes lingered on him. You admire my scent," she said quietly. "Why?" Cena paused, thinking carefully. "It is different. It tells me about you. I can tell you have lived through much, faced dangers, yet you carry yourself with grace. Your scent. It is part of who you are. I like it. It feels real." Leora's chest swelled slightly at his words. For the first time, she felt that someone saw her for herself, not for what others thought of her. Her loneliness felt lighter, as if a small spark of connection had been kindled. Not many would say such things, she admitted. Cena shook his head. "Not many think. Most judge. I think differently." The moment was interrupted by a sudden shout from the station corridor. A group of aliens had noticed them was AP. The station's corridors hummed with quiet tension. Cena and Leora had finished inspecting her ship, but word of the human helping the alien woman had already spread. Whispers filled the air. Some aliens were curious, some confused, and others were openly angry. As they walked together toward a quieter maintenance bay, a group of station guards intercepted them. They were tall, armored, and their expressions were rigid. "Human," one of them barked. "Step aside. That alien is dangerous. You cannot interfere." Cena stopped, his dark eyes meeting the leader's. "I am not interfering," he said calmly. "I am helping. There is a difference." The leader's eyes narrowed. "Her scent is hazardous. You should not be near her. It is against station regulations to engage with dangerous species without clearance." Cena shook his head, his expression firm. "She is not dangerous. You fear her because you do not understand. I will not step aside. I will help her if she allows it." Leora watched the confrontation silently, her eyes wide. She had expected fear, caution, maybe even avoidance, but never this kind of conflict. Most species assumed she was weak, incapable of defending herself. Cena's calm defiance changed everything. The leader sneered. "You humans are arrogant. You always think you know better. Step away, or we will remove you both." Cena remained, unmoved. "Remove me if you must, but she will not be harmed. I will not allow it." The guards hesitated. Cena's tone was calm, not threatening, but firm. Something in his presence made them pause. The other aliens watching from nearby murmured nervously. No human had ever spoken like this in the station. Finally, the leader signaled his team. "Very well, you have your chance. But know this, any trouble, and you will face consequences." Cena nodded slightly, turning to Leora. "Shall we continue?" he asked, his voice gentle. Leora nodded. "Yes, thank you, for standing up to them." They reached her ship, and Cena began examining the power core again. Leora watched closely, learning from his careful movements. His hands moved with skill and precision, but he explained every step to her, showing patience and respect. "You humans are Remarkable, Leora said quietly. You do not fear what others fear. You do not judge without reason. It is different. Cena smiled. We try. Fear is easy. Courage is harder. And understanding is the hardest of all, but it is worth it. Leora considered this. Her species valued strength and power often above all else. Humans seemed different. They valued courage, yes, but also curiosity, empathy, and knowledge. Cena embodied all of it. As they worked, a small group of curious aliens began to gather at a distance. Some were hesitant, others skeptical. One alien, a tall, blue-skinned merchant, muttered to another, "Why does that human not fear her scent?" The other shrugged. "I do not know, but it is unsettling." Cena heard none of this. His focus remained on Leora's ship. Sparks flew as he replaced a damaged circuit, and the soft hum of the engines began to return. Leora leaned closer, fascinated by the human's ingenuity. "You are very skilled," she said. "I have traveled many systems, seen many species, and repaired many ships, but your way, it is efficient and precise." Cena shrugged modestly. "Experience helps. Curiosity helps more. I like learning, especially when it helps someone else." Leora felt a small warmth inside her. She had been avoided, judged, and feared her entire life in stations like this. But this human, he saw her differently. He did not recoil. He did not mock. He helped. Suddenly, the station alarm blared. Red lights flashed along the corridors and a voice echoed, "Unauthorized activity detected near Docking Bay 7. All personnel respond." Cena's eyes narrowed. "It seems our work has drawn attention." Leora tensed. They will try to remove me?" Cena shook his head slightly. "Perhaps, but we can manage. Stay close to me." They moved quickly, but carefully, finishing the repairs on her ship. Cena guided her through each step, explaining how the power systems worked, how to stabilize the engine, and how to prevent overheating during a long journey. All the while, the group of aliens, observing them, grew restless. Some were still fearful, but others began to show signs of curiosity. One young technician whispered to his friend, He is not afraid. He respects her. Why do humans act this way?" Cena overheard the whisper and smiled faintly. Humans had a reputation for bravery, but few truly understood how far they would go to help another being. It was not just courage. It was empathy, understanding, and determination. Finally, the ship's systems stabilized. The engines hummed smoothly, and the power core glowed steadily. Cena stepped back, wiping a thin layer of grime from his hands. "It's done," he said. "Your ship is ready." Leora looked at the engines, then at Cena. You have done all this for me?" she asked, her voice soft, almost in disbelief. Cena nodded. "Yes. You are different, and I admire that. And right now, helping you is the right thing to do." Her lips curved in a small smile. "You are unlike anyone I have met." Cena returned the smile, his eyes calm and steady. "Humans are different," he said simply. "We see strength in many forms. Sometimes courage is quiet, not loud. Sometimes understanding is the greatest power." For the first time, Leora felt truly seen. She had arrived at the station avoided and feared, yet here she was, beside a human who admired her, who had helped her, and who had shown courage and wisdom that far surpassed anything she had expected. The whispers in the corridor continued, but Leora barely noticed. Cena had done more than repair her ship. He had given her a new sense of hope, a glimpse of trust, and a bond that neither distance nor fear could easily break. As they prepared to test the ship's engines, Cena looked at her one last time. "Remember this," he said. "Being different is not a weakness. It is a strength. And sometimes the right person will see it as beautiful." Leora inhaled slowly, letting the words sink in. For the first time in cycles, she did not feel alone. Not everyone feared her. Not everyone rejected her. And perhaps, just perhaps, humans could teach the galaxy a new way to see difference, not as danger, but as beauty. The hum of the repaired engines filled Leora's ship, steady and reassuring. Cena checked the controls carefully, ensuring that every system was stable. For the first time in many cycles, Leora felt a sense of calm. She had traveled far and wide, often relying on herself to survive. Yet here, with Cena beside her, she realized that teamwork could be a strength. "You humans are remarkable," she said quietly. "You do not fear what others fear. You trust differently." Cena smiled, his dark eyes warm. "Humans have learned that courage is more useful than fear, and understanding others, that is stronger than most weapons." Their quiet conversation was interrupted by a loud alarm echoing through the station. Red lights flashed across the corridor, and the automated voice shouted, "Emergency! Unauthorized interference detected in Docking Bay 7. Security teams en route." Leora tensed. They are coming for me?" Cena shook his head. "Maybe, but we can handle it." He reached out, guiding her to a nearby maintenance passage. "Stay close, trust me." As they moved, Cena noticed the small group of curious aliens from earlier. They followed cautiously, whispering among themselves. Some were afraid, some confused, but a few had stopped to watch. Cena did not care. His focus was on Leora and keeping her safe. They reached a control panel that allowed partial access to the docking bay. Cena quickly scanned the area. "They are planning to block your ship," he said. "We need to act fast." Leora looked at him, her eyes wide. "What can we do?" Cena's lips curved in a small, confident smile. "We improvise. Humans are good at improvising." He guided her to the back of the ship, showing her a set of manual controls. "These are basic, but they will help us start the engines earlier than usual. Follow my lead." Leora nodded. She had never operated a ship like this without full systems online. But Cena's calm instructions gave her confidence. Step by step, she followed his guidance, activating switches and rerouting power under his watchful eyes. Meanwhile, the security team arrived in the docking bay. Their leader barked orders, pointing at Leora's ship. "Halt! Unauthorized vessel. Prepare to board." Cena's dark eyes narrowed. He stepped forward slightly, placing himself between the security team and Leora. "You will not harm her," he said firmly. "She is not dangerous. You fear what you do not understand." The lead guard hesitated. Cena's tone was calm, unyielding. His presence seemed to radiate a quiet confidence that made the aliens pause. They had expected fear, hesitation, maybe negotiation, but not this. Leora glanced at Cena. You stand so confidently," she whispered. Cena shook his head. "Not for me. For you. Fear is easy. Bravery is choosing to act even when others are afraid. Now let's finish this." The engines roared to life under their hands, a low, steady hum that echoed through the docking bay. Leora's ship vibrated with energy, ready to move at a moment's notice. Cena guided her through the launch sequence, showing her how to maneuver, carefully past the docking clamps and avoid collisions. The security team watched, astonished. Most had expected hesitation or failure. Instead, they saw precise, coordinated actions. One technician whispered to another, "The human, he does not panic. He respects her. Look how she moves with him." Leora's confidence grew. Under Cena's calm guidance, she felt capable, strong, and supported. The fear that had clung to her since arriving at the station began to fade. She realized that she did not need to hide. Not any. Space stretched endlessly before Leora's ship, stars sparkling like distant gems. The engines hummed steadily, a reassuring rhythm that matched the calm in her chest. She had survived countless journeys, but never had she felt so safe. Not alone and not afraid. Cena had changed that. "Your ship is handling well. Cena said, scanning the instruments. The repairs held perfectly. You should have no trouble navigating to your destination. Leora looked at him, a soft smile on her lips. I could not have done this without you. You guided me through everything. Cena shook his head. I only guided. You did the work. Humans are good at teaching and helping, but you were the one in control. That is important. Leora considered his words. Humans valued courage, but it was more than courage. It was cooperation, trust, and understanding. Cena had shown her all of that. She had arrived on the station alone, avoided by others. But now she realized that not everyone feared her. Some could see strength and beauty where others only saw difference. As they traveled, a small transmission flickered onto the ship's console. Cena tapped it and brought up the message. The station had sent a warning. An unknown vessel was approaching. The area rapidly, its design unfamiliar. Hostile? Leora asked. Cena studied the incoming ship's profile. Unknown. Could be hostile. Could be curious. Either way, we need to prepare. Leora felt a familiar tension in her chest. She had faced dangers before, but now, with Cena beside her, fear was replaced by determination. What should we do? Cena smiled faintly. We assess first, act second. Humans are not reckless, we think before we move. Together, they scanned the approaching vessel. Its engines were powerful, capable of swift maneuvers, and its size suggested it could carry weapons. Yet Cena remained calm, his focus unwavering. They are moving closer, Leora said, her voice steady. Should we signal them? Cena shook his head. Not yet. We observe. Sometimes the best action is patience. Leora nodded, following his lead. They adjusted their shields, reinforced the engines, and prepared for evasive maneuvers just in case. Each step was calculated, precise. Cena's calm confidence guided her through the technical details she had never fully mastered. As the unknown vessel drew nearer, its occupants became visible on the monitor. A group of aliens, their expressions uncertain, their movements cautious. Cena noted their hesitation. They are curious, he said quietly. Not hostile yet. Let's show them we are capable without provoking them. Leora watched him closely. He was teaching her not just to operate the ship, but to approach life itself differently. Courage, he had shown her, was not only about facing danger, it was about maintaining calm, observing carefully and choosing action wisely. The unknown vessel slowed slightly, maintaining distance. Cena opened a communication channel. We come in peace, he said simply. We mean no harm. There was a pause, then a crackle of alien speech. The language was strange, unfamiliar, but the tone was cautious rather than aggressive. Cena quickly decoded the basic intent. They were curious, testing the new travelers in the area. They are testing us, Cena said. Not attacking, but observing. This is an opportunity. Leora inhaled deeply, her hands steady on the controls. She had felt fear countless times before, but with Cena guiding her, she felt confidence instead. What should we do, she asked. Show them capability, Cena replied. Show them we are skilled, precise, and intelligent. Humans survive because we learn, adapt, and act. That is our strength. Together, they performed a series of careful maneuvers. Leora piloted the ship expertly, following Cena's guidance. The engines glowed steadily as they weaved smoothly, demonstrating control and efficiency. The unknown vessel mirrored their movements, maintaining distance, but clearly impressed. See? Cena said quietly. Respect is earned through action, not words. Sometimes courage is quiet, not loud. Leora nodded, understanding. Humans, he had shown, could face danger calmly, think clearly, and inspire respect without aggression. She felt admiration for him growing, not only for his skill but for his mindset. The unknown vessel eventually withdrew slightly, signaling a form of acknowledgement. They had not attacked. They had observed and then accepted that the humans and Leora's ship were capable beings. Leora exhaled slowly. We succeeded, she said, her voice a mixture of relief and wonder. We did not fight. Yet we proved ourselves. Cena smiled. Exactly. Strength is not always in weapons. Sometimes it is in knowledge, courage, and cooperation. Leora's thoughts returned to the station. Many species had avoided her, feared her scent, and judged her without understanding. Yet here, she had faced a potential threat and, with Cena, had earned respect through calm action and skill. The lesson was clear. Fear was not the path to survival. Courage and understanding were far stronger. Human, she said softly, you teach in ways I have never learned before, not with force but with patience, clarity, and courage. Cena shook his head, humility in his dark eyes. I only do what humans do naturally. We see difference not as danger but as opportunity. We learn, adapt, and act. That is what we are. That is why we survive. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, a reminder of the vast universe yet to explore. Leora felt a sense of connection to Cena, to humans, and to the possibilities of the galaxy itself. She had arrived alone, avoided, and misunderstood. Now beside a human who admired her, guided her, and showed her courage in action, she felt hope. Her hands rested lightly on the controls. I see it now, she said. The human way. You do not just survive. You inspire. You show that strength is not fear or dominance. It is understanding, courage, and action. Cena nodded quietly. That is what humans do. And now you understand too. You see your own strength through our actions. The unknown vessel moved away entirely, leaving Leora and Cena alone in space. But the lesson lingered. Respect could be earned without violence. Trust could be built with patience, and courage could shine brightest when fear was set aside. As they traveled toward their next destination, Leora realized something important. Humans were different, yes, but their way of seeing the universe, their way of valuing courage, empathy, and intelligence, could change the way other species viewed difference and strength. Cena glanced at her. Remember this, Leora. You have strength inside you. Your differences are your power, and when someone sees it as beauty rather than danger, that changes everything. Leora inhaled slowly, her chest light with newfound hope. For the first time in cycles, she did not feel alone. Not everyone feared her. Not everyone avoided her. Some, even humans, could see courage and beauty, where others saw only difference. And as stars stretched endlessly before them, she understood something she had never believed before. Humanity could inspire the galaxy, not through dominance or fear, but through understanding, courage, and action. The stars stretched endlessly in every direction as Leora piloted her ship, her hands steady on the controls. The hum of the engines was a comforting rhythm, a reminder of what she had learned, that skill, courage, and understanding could overcome fear and suspicion. Beside her, Cena monitored the systems, calm and confident as always. You have come a long way, Leora, Cena said quietly. Not just in distance, but in trust. You are stronger than you realize. Leora glanced at him, her eyes reflecting the starlight. I never imagined I could feel so understood, she admitted. Your presence, it has changed how I see myself and others. Cena smiled faintly. Humans learn from each other too. We are brave, yes, but courage is most powerful when it inspires others. And you have learned it well. For the first time in many cycles, Leora felt fully seen. She had traveled alone, avoided by nearly everyone, her scent misunderstood and feared. But with Cena, she had faced challenges, learned new skills, and discovered that courage and intelligence could earn respect even in a galaxy full of fear. Their journey continued toward the outer rim of the system, but another transmission flickered onto the console. This one was from a neighboring fleet, a mixed group of alien species who had been observing Leora and Cena's progress. They requested a meeting. They want to meet us? Leora asked, surprised. Cena nodded. Yes, they have seen your capabilities and our coordination. They are curious, perhaps even respectful now. This is our chance to show what humans, and you, can achieve together. Leora felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension. She had always been avoided, judged by fear. But now, with Cena beside her, she felt prepared. "Let's meet them," she said, determination in her voice. The meeting took place in a neutral space station designed for interstellar diplomacy. As they arrived, a group of aliens from different systems waited. At first there was hesitation, some whispering, some looking away. But Cena stepped forward calmly, guiding Leora to the center. "This human has traveled with me," Leora said, her voice clear and strong. "He has shown courage, understanding, and skill. He has guided me, and together we have proven that fear is not strength. Respect is earned through action, not avoidance." The assembly of aliens was silent for a moment, absorbing her words. Some had expected arrogance, threats, or dominance. Instead, they saw humility, precision, and confidence. Cena's presence reinforced her statement. His calm eyes and steady posture spoke volumes. Finally, one of the elder aliens, tall with silver markings on their skin, stepped forward. "You have acted with wisdom," they said slowly. "And yet, Yumpanio,